Hey guys, really important video for you guys to think, how do you take advantage of the ball? Literally everyone I coach struggles with this, some far more than others, and in a general social setting of a club or an intermediate player finds this almost impossible, okay? Once they understand it, it becomes really simple and easy, but learning it, from all my years of coaching, it's really, really tough for people to do this, okay? If you can do this skill that I'm about to teach you, it's going to make you a far, far better player as far as hitting winners and taking advantage of the play, taking time away from your opponent, okay? This is really what you want to do, and this is what the pros are looking to do. So, you're looking for a short ball. Maybe you've set yourself up with the ball now that you want, okay? So it's no point rolling your forehand, hitting high and loopy to the other side, controlling the ball, okay? If you can't then come forwards and actually take the ball when it's high. So what we're going to look at right now is a high forehand and a high backhand. How do we take advantage of the ball, all right? Which just means, how do I take it when it's high and I can do more with it, right? So as the ball comes to you, maybe you've rolled them to the corner, you've found that ball that you want. Now you're getting inside the court. So let's think about setting up for this nice high ball, okay? First things first, if it's high, I can hit more down into the court. If it's low, I've got to use that rainbow shape and I've got to hit it slower because it's got to go up and in first, okay? Players with heavy spin can get away with this a little bit because the spin brings the ball in, but they're still limited no matter what, right? Once you're up here, you can hit it completely flat and probably still make the ball, okay? There's varying degrees of risk. So what I want you to think about as far as technique goes, once you're moving to the ball, you see the ball come short now, you split, you're reacting, you're moving forwards, all right? The first thing you've got to do is set up your feet, and to hit this ball when it's high is actually far easier to do from an open stance compared to a closed stance, okay? It's not impossible to hit it with a closed stance. You notice I've changed my grip to a continental grip to do this. All right, that's much more of an old school shot. The new school shot is going to be setting yourself up. I've got a semi-western, right? If you don't understand grips, don't worry about it. The concept is the same. As you're hitting with this right foot loading and I'm coming through the ball, now I can really take advantage of it, okay? So the open stance business is going to allow me to push through the ball and create a more comfortable contact when it's high. Versus if I'm turned, if I did the same thing, it's awkward because the ball wants to be a little bit more alongside me when it's up here versus way more out in front of me. If I'm hitting it late here, okay, it's more late, I can't attack it so much. I want to hit it earlier to be able to attack it. So even with that grip, if I hit it early, it's awkward and out in front, and what I'm likely to do is dump the ball down into the net. So that's not what I want. I want to be able to set myself up and go through the ball longer. Imagining there's a baguette in the middle of the air going through the ball, but I'm still going that small loopy shape, small C shape with my racket. I'm coming up the ball to create a little bit of safety, okay? So you're gonna load yourself, outside foot, open stance, okay? Watch my video on the different stances as far as your shot goes, if you wanna understand open stance further. But open stance here is gonna help you go forwards through the ball. So the main thing I want you to take away from this video is, if you expect to hit the ball at a high point, you need to start with your racket in a high point, okay? If it's coming up, you want to hit the ball here. So if you start too low, well, what's gonna happen? Obviously, you're hitting too much under the ball. Even if you brushed it up like crazy, it's going up too far and it goes long, all right? This is my favorite error to make because I usually make this error. I know I've got more pace on my shot, and I'm hitting it long going, oh, I had to take some pace off that one. You've got to be really careful with it if the ball's low, okay? There's that same concept. If the ball's high, I feel much more comfortable because I can whack it as hard as I want. I know I can hit it in, okay? So you've got to limit yourself while you're down here. It's pointless to do that. If you're up here, now you can control it a lot better and go for a lot more with less risk, okay? It's above net height. So set yourself up with that racket starting high. And from there, all the concepts I've explained in my previous video about a forehand, they all apply. You're dropping that racket, you're drawing that C shape below the ball, no matter where it is, if it's here or it's here or it's here, you can feel comfortable going forwards through the ball. What I'm going to show you is how it looks, okay? Visually, I don't want you to simply come across the ball, but visually it looks like it, okay? And it's a good way to practice and thinking about how you're actually hitting the shot. So once that ball, you've got open stance and it's coming up high, I want you to go through the baguette, all right, nice and long forwards towards your target, but also across the ball a little bit, okay? If you're doing this and you're shanking the ball and it's going off to the side, that's no good. That's too much across. You want to go forwards through the ball to increase your contact zone. So set, go forwards through the ball, and this is how it looks. It will look like I'm going slightly across it. It's a good visualization. What you notice with my feet. Load, hitting out in front. I'm pushing forwards into my shot, attacking the ball. So I've set my feet up and I'm finishing forwards, okay? Now, I don't want you to dump the ball. Try and go forwards and long through it before you either finish over your shoulder or as you hit, you can finish down a little bit because you might be slapping the ball down slightly. See how much difference there is with that, whether you're dumping it versus going through it, and set yourself up with that high racket to get the result. Same concept exactly on the backhand. Open stance works, but it's a little bit more difficult on the backhand, especially for a two-hander. If you're a one-hander, you can get that nice reach. That will work a lot better as far as attacking a high ball. Okay, you've got more reach to get more over the ball. With two hands, you're a little bit limited. It's not impossible. Okay, it's definitely a shot, but it's not as comfortable as this forehand side. So what I want you to try and do is position your feet in a way where you can get the ball high, but if you're side on now with a closed stance, your racket is actually being encouraged to go through because you've got two hands on the racket. Okay, it's the same concept though. So as your ball's bouncing up, or maybe it's at the top of the bounce, you can set, hit forwards through it, right? My racket's starting high, I'm coming forwards, and keep going forwards. Okay, I've got more of a turn to my backhand as I'm limited with two hands. A one-hander is going to go a little longer forwards because I've got less limitation using one hand. It's not to say one's better than the other, but one hand is just simply a little bit more adjustable, okay? Two hands, where most players are playing these days, is a little bit low here and through the ball. That side-on business with your body is going to help you go through the ball longer, okay? It looks like this. I'm side-on through, okay? Versus open stance. It's very easy with a two-hander to come down because you don't have that extension with one hand. It looks very different if I'm extending versus if I'm here limiting, okay? It's not impossible. You want to do the same concept, right? Extend forwards through the ball, but focus on that point, okay? Where you're going forwards through it. And if you can get side on, that will make that easier because it's more of your arms hitting the ball, a little bit less body. Not that you're not using body, but it's less compared to the forehand. And that's why we're looking for the forehand to attack this ball. If the ball comes slightly to your backhand, I suggest run around it, draw that C shape on the ground, or the letter J, same idea. Now you can load, and now you can tee off. If you can't, you can still take advantage of the backhand, and this is where the donkey kick comes in. Someone like a Monfils or a Sebastian Grosjean, phenomenal players at this. All the pros can pretty much do this, right? As they jump up, they jump off their other foot, and they're going to hit the ball almost out of the air, okay? Or even out of the air, right? So as they're jumping up, they're trying to create height in their contact point. So with the same limitation of the technique, their jump is actually allowing them to hit it now, okay? Out of the air. There's the concept. That's not something I want you to practice. That's more of a show pony shot. You can practice it when you're having an off day or you're having some fun, but in general, I want you to think, set your feet here where you can be more stable, especially for an intermediate player, and then come forwards, okay? Get used to that. You might have to be a bit more cautious with that ball, but it's definitely a good one to start with before you start getting too advanced hitting the donkey kick. Good luck.